Hello guys, you are welcome again to another After Effects tutorials. Today I'm going to show you how you can animate an object to follow a path like a road, wire or anything, or even an airplane. You can do that with this technique. Before we dive into that, I want to show you a little screenshot from analytics. A lot of you guys are watching this video, more than 80% of you are watching these videos, and yet you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel. Please, it is free to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button to support me. If at any point you don't like what I am doing right here, you can unsubscribe at any time. It is free to do, and it is that easy. So support me on this one. Hit the like on the video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to turn on the notification. Then come back. Let's get into this. So back in Adobe After Effects, I'm starting with a new composition with a simple solid layer with a color, an earth color. Green can be an earth color and any other color you want to use. I'm starting from this. So now I'm going to pick the ellipse tool. Why I'm using this ellipse tool is I want to have a guide. I want a perfect cycle at the center. So I'm going to make sure no layer is selected. I will draw a cycle right here. Hold down your Control and Shift to keep it perfect. This is okay. So I just want to use this as a guide. I will hold down Control and double click on the anchor tool so that I will center the anchor point. Then I'll select my cycle and align these to center. I'm going to lock this so that it doesn't move at all. So now I'll pick my pen tool, make sure it is still on a stroke. If you want to do this, you can just simply change the color so that you have a contrasting color. We're going to change this color later. So I'll quickly draw a line to create the road path for this. Feel free to draw whatever random path you want to use. This is only for these tutorials. I'm going to now delete this guide layer. I'll select the part right here and increase the thickness, that is the width. Feel free to make it whatever size you want. I'm going to adjust this a bit. So I'm going to change the color to a dark gray, just like you have on the road. I'll hit OK. I'll select the same layer, Ctrl D on my keyboard to duplicate it. Then I'll change this color to white. Then I will also reduce the stroke width. So I'm going to go into the stroke properties. Then I'll expand this into the content. Then the stroke. Then I'll go into the dashes right here and hit the plus button so that I will have this road checker the way you will have it on a standard road. So you can increase these numbers to have it even. Just increase it to until you have something that you like. Yes, I'm going to go up with this, but there is something I want to bring to your attention. If you look at this road, there is a crossing right here where the road is coming right over each other, more like a road going under the other one. So we have to make this look proper. So this road checker needs to go below this right here, below the road. Let's assume this came in from below and then came up to go to the left side. In your own case, it might not be like this. It all depends on how you drew your part. So what I'm going to do now is to fix this. I'm going to pick the pen tool again. And I'm going to pull in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Then I will make sure no layer is selected. I will carefully draw a shape here. I'll toggle my timeline so that I can see the track matte function. Then I'll go here and set it to alpha matte inverted. And that is going to cut out the SS1 that is going above the road. So if you deselect everything now we have a perfect road, simulating that this is going below the road and then coming above it. So now let's fit this to the frame resolution so that we can see everything we're doing. So it is now time to bring in our object. In this case, we're going to use a car. So just bring in this car garage. So we're going to select one of these cars. So I'm going with the yellow one. So I will just pick the rectangle tool to mask this out. By the way, if you want to know, this is an Illustrator file and I got it from freepik.com. It's an amazing website. We need to have the anchor point at the center of the car. To do that, it's very easy. Just hold down your control key and double click on this anchor tool. That will bring the anchor point to the center. We need to scale this down. Just hit S on your keyboard to reveal the scale property. Scale this down until it is something you can fit on the road. Now, usually if you want to do this, if you don't have experience with this, you just manually start here and keyframe everything till the end, but that can be very tedious and time consuming. So there's going to be a simple hack for this. So we're going to go into the road checker or any of the parts right here, then expand it, go to the part. We're going to select this and copy the part. Ctrl C on your keyboard to do that. Then we're going to go to the car and hit P on our keyboard to reveal the position property. Make sure your time indicator is at 0. Then select the position property and paste this by Ctrl V or Command V if you are using Mac. So currently, if you play this, you will see that the car is going on the path. Is that easy? But there is one problem right here. If you look at it, it is not turning incrementally to follow the path as if it is facing. You see, it is just going around the path. So to fix this, we're going to go to this layer, right click on it, go to transform. Then we'll go to auto orient. Then we're going to orient this along path. Make sure that is checked and then you hit OK. So now if you play this, you will see that the car is incrementally going around the road. If this is what you want, beautiful. We are done with this tutorial. But wait a moment. If you take a look at the car right here, it is supposed to pass under that road before it comes up right here. You see, it is going that, so we need to fix that. But there's one thing I want us to do before we go into that. So we're going to give our car a shadow. So I will just search for a drop shadow and I'll add that to the car. So I will temporarily hide the black side of this so that we can see where our shadow is going. So I will switch this panel to effects and control. Then make sure my car is selected. Then I'm going to adjust the distance. Yes, and I'm going to soften the shadow. You can increase the distance so that you can see it very well. It all depends on what you want, and soften it further. You see, if as the car goes on, the shadow is not what it's supposed to be, because if you have the light coming from the bottom, then the shadow should consistently go to the top. So, but that is not happening at the moment. So how do you fix that? So what we're going to do now is to select the car layer. We're going to cut this shadow. We go to edit, then you cut that shadow effect. But before we fix that, I want us to select all these keyframes because we want everything to move in 10 seconds. So I will hold down my Alt key or Option key on the Mac, select this last one and spread it along the 10 seconds. That way you have the car going slowly until it fits that. Then Ctrl-Shift-C on your keyboard to pre-compose. Make sure you move all attributes to the new composition. Then you can name this whatever you like. and then hit OK. So now we have this. So we're going to paste this shadow we just cut from the car onto this. Now, as you can see right here, we have the shadow. So if you play along this, you see that the shadows, you see the shadow is now consistently in one direction because the light is coming from one direction. So all you need to do now is to increase the feather again to whatever you like and increase the distance and direction. I'm gonna leave it like this. So let's unhide what we have on the road. Beautiful. You can see the shadow is now consistent. So with every shadow, there should be a highlight to also signify the light. So what we're going to do, we're going to use an effect to create the highlight. So go to this, select the layer and search for the bevel alpha. Now we need to pull in to see the impact of the light on the car. If you take a look closely, you see that the shadow is dropping to the left, and the light, because of the bevel alpha that we just added, it has created a reflection on the car as if the light is hitting the front and the shadow is dropping right here. To be able to see that, let's switch this panel to effects and control and disable the bevel alpha. Keep your eye on the car. You see that? You see that the light has disappeared, and if I enable it, the light is back. So now it will be consistent as the car goes around the path. Beautiful. But there is one more thing we need to fix right here. You can see here it keeps going along the top. So but if this is what you want, that is not a problem. You can leave it like that, but this is not what I want to achieve. I want the car to go below the road right here and then come out right there, then at this point on the top. So what we're going to do now is to make sure we mask that out. So at this point right here, you should go below the road. In this case, I'm going to just duplicate the bottom layer, which is the gray side of the part. Ctrl D on my keyboard to do that. Then I'll move it right above the car. So what I'm going to do now is to expand that layer, then go into add and then add a trim path. So I'm going to adjust the start and end until I have it only covering this part of the road. If you want to see what you are doing, you can just simply change the color, because at this point it doesn't matter. Yes, of course, so that you can see what exactly you are doing. Yes, somewhat like this is okay. So now I'm gonna make sure I move the car. You see, now it is covering it, but the problem is that we don't want to see that. So what I'm gonna do now is to make sure I go into the track matte. I'll toggle this again, then go into the track matte and set it to alpha inverted. So at any time the car is at this point, it will go below the bridge, then, but there's a problem here also, it is above it. So this is very, very technical. So we're going to fix this right now. At this point, it has finished. So we're going to make sure we select both layers right here. So this will also depend, in your own case, you might not need to do this if your path is not crossing at any point. So I'll hold the shift and control and then hit D on my keyboard to cut this. So I'm going to set this track matte to none. That is this one right here. I'm going to set it to none. Then I'll just simply delete the other shape layer. So now if you play back, you will see that everything is fixed. So this is how to constrain an object to follow a path in Adobe After Effects. I will be referencing this video in the future because you can also apply this technique in logo animation. If you learned something new on this video, please hit the like button. That will enable the algorithm to suggest this to more people. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me in the comment section and I'll reply to all questions as quick as I can. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can support me in any way. You can give me super thanks, subscribe to my membership, whatever way you want to support me with. Even if you share the video, that is also a huge support and it is highly appreciated. If you like the video, leaving a comment is all a support. So in whatever way you are able to support me, I highly appreciate you. So until I see you again on the next one, my name is SSB Otaru from MotionDigit Studios.